In the vast cold expanse of deep space, the Galactic Confederation's diplomatic ship drifted silently towards the human diplomatic vessel. Commander J. Park stood perfectly still, his dark eyes fixed on the view screen. Around him, the bridge of the human ship hummed with quiet tension. The alien delegation had arrived with an air of supreme confidence. Their massive ship, a gleaming construct of advanced technology, made the human vessel look like a small, unimpressive metal box. Kiro Ven, the lead alien representative, was known throughout the galaxy for his sharp tongue and even sharper judgments. As the communication channel opened, Ven's image flickered onto the screen. His skin was a pale blue, with intricate silver markings that shifted and changed like living metallic tattoos. His eyes were large and completely black, showing no white, no iris, just endless darkness that seemed to consume everything they looked at. Humans, Ven began, his voice a low, mechanical buzz that seemed to vibrate through the ship's communication systems. We have traveled many light years to understand your species. Our initial assessments are disappointing, J. Park remained calm. He had trained for this moment his entire career. Behind him, his crew watched silently, their hands hovering near control panels, their muscles tense but controlled. Ven continued, pulling up holographic displays that showed comparisons between human and alien technology. Weapon systems, communication, networks, propulsion technologies. Each comparison made the human technology look primitive, almost childlike in its simplicity. Your weapons are nothing more than glorified metal tubes, Ven said, his voice dripping with condescension. Your spacecraft use combustion and simple electromagnetic principles that our civilization abandoned thousands of years ago. We have quantum entanglement drives. We have weapons that can destroy entire planetary systems with a single pulse. The holographic displays showed complex alien technologies next to simple human designs. Missiles that looked like basic metal tubes compared to swirling complex alien energy weapons, rocket engines beside quantum propulsion systems that seemed to bend the very fabric of space. J. Park listened. He did not interrupt. He did not argue. He simply watched and listened. We could eliminate your entire species with less effort than you would use to swat an insect, Ven said. It wasn't a threat. To him it was simply a statement of fact. But there was something in J. Park's eyes. A spark. A hint of something the aliens could not understand. Determination, creativity, the ability to adapt and overcome. The other human crew members remained absolutely still. They knew their commander. They trusted him completely. Each of them had been chosen not just for their technical skills, but for their ability to think differently, to see solutions where others saw only problems. Ven finished his presentation, expecting some form of submission or fear from the humans. Instead, Commander Park simply nodded. "We appreciate your assessment," he said calmly. His voice was steady, neither confrontational nor submissive. "Perhaps we can discuss this further." The alien delegation exchanged confused looks. This was not the response they had expected. Where was the fear, the panic, the desperate attempts to prove themselves? Little did they know this was exactly how humanity had always survived. Not through brute force, not through superior technology, but through something far more powerful, the ability to adapt, to learn, to overcome. As the communication channel remained open, tension hung in the air. The humans and aliens stared at each other, two species separated by technology, culture, and understanding. But something was about to change, something neither side could predict. The first encounter was just the beginning. The weeks following the first encounter were filled with growing unease. Diplomatic channels buzzed with increasing tension between humans and the Galactic Confederation. Elena Kim worked tirelessly in the underground research facility, her fingers dancing across holographic displays that flickered with complex calculations. Intelligence reports painted a grim picture. The Alien Confederation was preparing for what they considered an inevitable conflict. Their massive fleet began moving strategic positions near human-controlled star systems. Massive battleships that looked like curved blades of dark metal slowly positioned themselves, their weapon systems constantly scanning. In the command center, military strategists studied the alien movements. Traditional human military doctrine suggested retreat or immediate surrender. But something was different. This time, Commander J. Park had other plans. Elena Kim's latest project was unlike anything the military had seen before. She had been studying the alien weapon signatures, their communication frequencies, their technological patterns. Where others saw complex alien technology, she saw patterns, weaknesses, opportunities. It's not about having the biggest weapon, she would often tell her team. It's about understanding how the weapon works. Her team worked in shifts, rotating, through complex simulations. They analyzed alien weapon systems, communication protocols, and technological infrastructure. Each breakthrough was small, but significant. A tiny modification here, a slight adjustment there. The tension continued to build. Alien diplomatic messages became more aggressive. They demanded human submission, claiming their technological superiority made resistance futile. Each message was a thinly veiled threat, each communication a step closer to open conflict. Military bases across human-controlled space began preparing. But this wasn't the traditional preparation of the past. Something was different. Soldiers trained not just in combat, but in adaptive thinking. Engineers worked on modifying existing technologies. Scientists ran countless simulations. J. Park watched the preparations carefully. He understood something the alien confederation did not. Humanity's greatest strength was never its technology. It was its ability to adapt, to think differently, to find solutions where others saw only problems. The alien fleet continued its slow, deliberate movement. Each battleship was a marvel of technological engineering, weapons that could destroy entire planetary systems with a single pulse, communication systems that could jam any known technology, shields that could repel the most advanced attacks. But they didn't know about Elena Kim's project. In a small hidden laboratory deep beneath a military research facility, something was taking shape. It wasn't a weapon in the traditional sense, it was an idea, a method of thinking, a way of adapting that would change everything. The first signs of trouble came quickly, a small border skirmish, a minor confrontation between human and alien patrol ships. Nothing significant, but enough to make both sides understand that conflict was inevitable. The alien confederation believed they knew exactly how the conflict would play out. They had studied human technology. They had analyzed human military capabilities. They were certain of their victory, but they had missed something important. They had underestimated human creativity. As the days passed, the tension continued to build. Military bases prepared. Research facilities worked around the clock. Something was coming. Something that would change everything. The first shots had not yet been fired, but the war was already beginning in a way the aliens could not understand. In May 1, her laboratory, Elena Kim looked up from her work. A small smile crossed her face. She knew something was about to happen, something that would surprise everyone. The aliens thought they knew humanity. They were wrong, very wrong. The preparation continued, silently, carefully, with a precision that would soon shock the entire galaxy. Humanity was ready, and the alien confederation had no idea what was coming. The first battle came without warning. Alien battleships dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the outer edges of the solar system, their weapon systems already charging. They expected a quick, decisive victory. What they found was something entirely different. Elena Kim's modifications were unlike anything the aliens had ever encountered. Human missiles that seemed simple suddenly changed direction mid-flight. Defensive systems predicted alien weapon signatures before they were even launched. Each human ship moved with an unpredictability that defied standard combat algorithms. Commander J. Park watched the battle unfold from the command center. His team worked with a calm precision that would have seemed impossible just months earlier. They weren't fighting with superior technology. They were fighting with something far more powerful, adaptive intelligence. The alien fleet commander, Kiro Ven, watched in growing disbelief. His most advanced targeting systems were failing. Missiles that should have destroyed human ships simply missed. Or worse, turned back on their own vessels. One by one, alien ships began to fall, not through massive explosions or spectacular destruction, but through systematic, calculated attacks that dismantled their systems piece by piece. It was like watching a surgeon carefully take apart a complex machine. The human ships weren't bigger, they weren't more powerful, but they were thinking, adapting, changing, with each moment of the battle. Elena Kim had developed a revolutionary approach. Instead of fighting the alien technology directly, her systems learned from it. Each alien weapon signature was immediately analyzed, understood, and countered. What should have been a weakness became a strength. Communication systems that the aliens believed were secure suddenly became compromised. Weapon systems that should have been unstoppable found themselves blocked by simple, elegant solutions. The humans weren't fighting with brute force. They were outsmarting the alien technology at every turn. Kiro Ven's flagship began to panic. Their most advanced systems were failing. Weapons that had destroyed entire civilizations were being rendered useless by what appeared to be simple human ingenuity. How? Ven transmitted, his voice trembling. How is this possible? The human response was simple and calm. We adapt, came the reply. Just 2 words that would change everything. Across the battle zone, alien ships began to retreat. Their perfect formation, their carefully planned attack was falling apart. They had been so certain of their victory, so confident in their technological superiority, they had forgotten one crucial thing about humanity. Humans never gave up. The battle lasted hours, but it felt like moments. Each human ship moved with a precision that seemed almost alive. Missiles adapted, defensive systems learned. Communication networks became living, breathing entities that anticipated and countered alien attacks. By the time the first wave ended, the alien confederation had lost more ships than in the previous 100 years of their existence. Not through overwhelming force, but through something far more terrifying, human creativity. In the command center, Elena Kim allowed herself a small smile. This was just the beginning. They had proven something important. Technology was not about having the most advanced systems. It was about understanding, adapting, and thinking differently. Commander J. Park looked at the battle reports. They had won. But more importantly, they had changed the entire understanding of warfare. The aliens had come expecting a simple conquest. They found something else entirely. They found humanity, and humanity was nothing like they had expected. As the dust settled and the first wave of battle concluded, one thing became absolutely clear. This was not going to be the easy victory the alien confederation had planned. This was going to be a war unlike any in galactic history, and humanity was just getting started. The Battle of Proxima became a moment that would be remembered throughout galactic history. A single human battle group led by Commander J. Park faced an alien fleet that outnumbered them 10-1. The odds were impossible. The situation was hopeless, or so the aliens thought. Kiro Ven watched from his flagship, confidence slowly turning to confusion, then to pure terror. The human ships moved like nothing he had ever seen before. They weren't fighting with traditional tactics. They were reimagining warfare itself. One human vessel used an asteroid field as a weapon. Another ship deliberately allowed itself to be damaged, only to use that damage as a strategic advantage. Missile systems that should have been destroyed became adaptive weapons platforms. Damaged communication arrays transformed into electronic warfare tools. Elena Kim had prepared for this moment. Her team had developed something beyond a weapon system. They had created a living, thinking combat network. Each human ship was no longer just a machine. It was part of a larger intelligence system that learned and adapted in real time. The alien weapons, so advanced just days ago, now seemed almost primitive. Quantum disruptors that should have obliterated entire ships found themselves redirected. Energy weapons were absorbed and transformed. The humans weren't just defending. They were turning the aliens' own technology against them. Commander Park moved his fleet with a chess master's precision. Where alien commanders saw individual ships, he saw a single, breathing organism. Each vessel moved in perfect harmony, compensating for each other's weaknesses, creating strengths where none should exist. Kiro Ven's communication systems began to fail. Weapon targeting became impossible. His most advanced battleships found themselves outsmarted by what appeared to be simple human technology. It was like fighting a living, thinking opponent who could predict every move before it happened. The battle wasn't about destroying ships. It was about understanding, about adaptation, about thinking differently. One by one, alien ships began to fall. Not through massive explosions, but through systematic, intelligent dismantling. Their most advanced systems became useless. Their perfect strategies crumbled. How? Ven transmitted, his voice breaking. How is this possible? The human response was simple. We learn, came the calm reply. We adapt. Proxima became more than a battle. It became a statement. Humanity was not a species to be conquered. They were a force of nature. The alien fleet's perfect formation began to collapse. Ships that should have been invincible found themselves disabled by simple, elegant solutions. The humans weren't fighting with brute force. They were outsmarting the most advanced technology in the galaxy. Elena Kim watched from the research facility. Every moment, every decision was a culmination of months of preparation. They had studied the alien technology, they had understood it, and now they were defeating it. Commander Park moved his flagship with a calm precision. Each decision was calculated. Each movement was part of a larger strategy that the aliens couldn't comprehend. He wasn't just fighting a battle, he was rewriting the rules of warfare. As the hours passed, the impossible happened. The human fleet, outnumbered and outgunned, began to win. Not through superior technology, but through something far more powerful: human creativity. The Battle of Proxima would be remembered as the moment everything changed. The moment humanity proved that technology was not about having the most advanced systems. It was about understanding, adapting, and thinking differently. Kiro Ven's flagship was the last to fall. As it drifted, disabled, he understood a fundamental truth. The aliens had come expecting a simple conquest. They found something else entirely. They found humanity. And humanity was nothing like they had expected. The battle was over. But the war was just beginning. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Humanity had done the impossible. A species once considered primitive had defeated the most advanced technological civilization in known space. Kiro Ven sat in a detention facility, his once proud form now broken and defeated. The Galactic Confederation's leadership met in emergency sessions, their carefully constructed understanding of the universe shattered into pieces. Commander J. Park became an unexpected symbol, not a warrior, but a strategist. Not a conqueror, but a defender. Elena Kim's research became the most studied scientific breakthrough in galactic history. Her adaptive technology systems were revolutionizing everything from military strategy to scientific exploration. The peace negotiations were unlike any in galactic history. The aliens didn't come with demands, they came with questions. How had humans done the impossible? What made their approach to technology so different? Earth changed overnight. No longer seen as a backwater planet, humanity became a species of interest. Scientific institutions were flooded with requests for collaboration. Military academies around the galaxy began studying human adaptive strategies. Elena Kim's laboratory became a beacon of innovation. Her team had proven something fundamental. Technology was not about having the most advanced systems. It was about understanding, adapting, and thinking differently. The human approach was simple but revolutionary. Where alien civilizations saw technology as a fixed system, humans saw it as a living, breathing entity. Each problem was an opportunity. Each challenge was a chance to learn and grow. Diplomatic channels reopened. The Galactic Confederation, once confident in their superiority, now approached humans with respect. Trade agreements were signed. Scientific exchanges became common. Humanity had proven itself not through conquest but through intelligence. Commander Park gave few interviews. When he did speak, his words were simple but powerful. "We don't fight to destroy," he would say. "We fight to understand. We adapt. We grow." The economic impact was immediate. Human technology companies became the most valuable in the galaxy. Investors from 100 different civilizations rushed to understand the human approach to innovation. Kiro Ven, once the most feared military commander in the Galactic Confederation, became a lecturer. He traveled from planet to planet explaining how a supposedly primitive species had changed everything. His lectures became a warning and a lesson. Elena Kim continued her research. She understood that this was just the beginning. The real challenge was not winning a war but maintaining peace. Her adaptive technologies began to be used in medical research, environmental restoration, and peaceful exploration. The solar system transformed. Earth became a hub of innovation. Military bases were converted into research centers. Young people from across the galaxy came to understand the human approach to problem-solving. Some alien civilizations refused to accept the change. They saw humanity as a threat, but most recognized the truth. Humanity represented something new, a way of thinking that was neither aggressive nor passive, but adaptively intelligent. Commander Park received countless honors, but he remained unchanged, calm, focused, understanding that their victory was not about military might, but about a fundamentally different approach to challenges. Elena Kim's adaptive technologies began solving problems that had seemed impossible. Medical treatments that could adjust in real time, environmental systems that could respond to changing conditions, communication networks that could learn and grow. The Galactic Confederation rebuilt itself. No longer was it a military alliance based on technological superiority. It became a collaborative network of civilizations with humanity at its center. Years later, when historians would write about this moment, they would describe it simply. This was not a story of war. This was a story of understanding, of adaptation, of the incredible potential of a species that refused to be limited by existing knowledge. Humanity had changed everything, and they were just getting started.